right now, we're just day one of this massive monstrosity of an ongoing project. And moving forward, this is day one of stripping the paint to bare metal on our 1978 Datsun 280z. So hope you enjoy. Hello and welcome back to the shop. Today is the official day one of body work. We're going to be stripping the paint down to bare metal because there's so many different areas on so many different panels of the car that are already cracking and flaking and lifting. I'm not going to go risk just scuffing it and maybe putting some glazy putty over that and then throwing down epoxy primer. Chances are, if it's already cracking and lifting on the original paint, this is a 1978, so we're nearing 40 years of that paint being exposed to the UV rays and elements, and that's just not something I'm willing to risk after spraying and recoating this thing. We are going to be spraying a base coat, clear coat. We have some epoxy to put down before that, some high build primer after that. The original plan was going to be to scuff it up with 180 grit to 220 grit, and then all upwards of 320 and 400 grit. You step up in grits to smooth everything out. That was the original plan, was basically a scuff and spray, scuff it up, degrease it, clean it, and then lay down some epoxy primer, some high build primer, and then seal it with some reduced epoxy primer on top of all that. And then we get to our base coat, clear coat stages. And there's a lot of stuff that goes on in between all that as well, and I'll cover that in the upcoming videos because we have to strip this thing down to bare metal. Unfortunately, it's a lot more work and it's a lot more tedious and time consuming, but in my opinion, that's the only way to do things right when you have a failing base material that's already on the car cracking and flaking. If it was just faded or UV damaged or clear coat peeling, not a problem. I would have had no issue with just doing a light sand over everything, getting all of that material that's flaking off the car, and then leaving a good base for the epoxy primer to adhere to. However, that's not the case because when you have these long cracks and rust pits and things like that from underneath the existing paint, that's only asking for failure in the future if you put something on top of that. That adhesion between the metal and existing paint has already failed. So even if you put new paint on top of that and you get good adhesion because you scuffed the surface of the failing paint, the new paint will stick onto that, no problem, but it will come off just as easy as the failing substrate that's already on the car that's coming off anyway. So we're going to do the proper thing, and we're going to strip the entire chassis. Not the entire chassis, but just the body work down to bare metal. All right, I've got everything masked up, and no, I don't anticipate that the masking job is going to be adequate and stay for the entire stripping process. But what I'm attempting to do is to keep out most of the dust and debris out of the interior and freshly painted engine bay that we did a couple episodes ago. So hopefully that helps. I'm going to see if I can't get this entire body stripped in a couple hours instead of a day or two. Here goes nothing. well, that's enough work for one day. It only took about 4, maybe 5 hours to get this whole rear quarter panel all the way up to half of the roof line done. And we still have the door jamb to do, as well as the other side. I'm going to save that for tomorrow. So the plan tomorrow is come in here, attack the other half of the roof and the other quarter panel and the rear taillight area. But the sun's gone down and I'm done for today. So we'll see you guys tomorrow. Remember, if you want to see more of this stuff, you got to click that thumbs up button. If you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing to the channel. And if you're going to go to the trouble of subscribing, please click that bell notification and turn it to all. That way you get notified just as soon as I get around to posting another video. I appreciate it, as always. And until next time, thanks for watching this one.